to encounter. Yeah. And there we are. Hello, everybody. So good to see you. Pop Culture Curator here, back on another Tuesday night for a horror sci-fi stream. And tonight we're going to be covering Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. I know we've kind of had a few delays over the past 2 or 3 weeks. We weren't able to cover it. But tonight is finally here. And I promise you we'll get to through this from beginning to end. And I wanted to say first, I missed all you guys. I know I was ill sometimes, and also was having internet issues where I couldn't do any kind of streaming or hosting. And I'm really ashamed of that, and I'm so sorry. I'm hoping to make it up to everybody, especially all of my good friends in the chat and my subscribers. I know since I've been ill lately, my subscriber base is kind of dumped. I've taken a dump, but that's to be expected, and it's okay. I love my subscribers for who they are, and for me, it's not about quantity; it's all about quality. And I think I have the best subs on YouTube, in my opinion. But without further ado, I'd like to say hello to my fellow wonderful, magnificent, amazing co-panelists. Starting with Gorilla's Random Thoughts. How are you doing tonight, Gorilla?
I'm doing good. I had a busy day. I was kind of hoping that the storms would have intensified and knocked out power at work so we could go home, but we don't get our wishes.
Never so lucky, right?
Yeah. Now, all we got is a crap load of rain right at break time.
Of course. So if the weather turns for the worst and they do send you home early, do you get paid for that or no?
I use my vacation time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, as long as you get paid, then that's what matters, right?
Yeah, it's not like it all depends on the situation. Like when we had the fire at work, when we couldn't work for a couple weeks there, we got paid for that. During the pandemic, when they shut down for 3 weeks, we kept getting our paychecks.
Without using your vacation.
Right.
Good.
Those were covered by the plant, but like if we're just gonna get sent home for lose like a couple hours of work, get sent home, and if you want to get paid, use your vacation. That was out of the factory's control. I shouldn't say out of the factory. That was just weather event there that couldn't be avoided, but that's one of those you use your vacation.
Yeah, that's it's a good thing they paid you, because obviously having to take a week or two or 3 off would be devastating to any family that's living paycheck to paycheck.
Well, that's one of those. They didn't want to lose any of the workers, so
yeah, that too.
So it's like either pay up for a week, or do you have to spend a crap load of time and money retraining someone and hoping they stay.
Yeah, exactly. Cross your fingers and hope they don't leave. And I wanted to say everybody quickly, I'm going to drop this out, but check out Gorilla's Random Thoughts, his channel. He's got some amazing shorts, and the guy is a fisherman to be envied. He's got some shorts
Yeah,
up there with these big old fish that I wish I could enjoy and share with them. So I just want to say congratulations there, Gorilla. Good work.
yeah. Well, thank you.
And also, anytime at all, also, hello to my amazing, wonderful friend, Nemesis of Eden. How are you doing tonight?
Well, hello to you, Pop, and Gorilla, and everyone in chat. I'm doing very well, thank you. It's been a nice, busy day. No rain here, unfortunately. Nothing but sunshine and wind. So I'm doing
Oh,
very well.
well, I have to say I've missed you guys, and I haven't. I've been enjoying your gaming streams, Nemesis. At night when I'm just chilling and relaxing, and there's nothing else to do. They're very calming for the nerves. So I want to appreciate you. I want to thank you and tell you that I appreciate you putting them out there.
Well, thank you, Pop. I really that means a lot to me. I'm glad I'm able to provide you with some entertainment. I've been worried that I've just been running around in circles in the game that I'm in right now, and it's been not entertaining for anyone. So that's uh, reaffirming. Thank you.
Well, me personally, I have been enjoying myself. If it seems like to you, the player, you're running around in circles, that's okay because just remember that there's people out there like me that are being entertained. So I thank you for that.
Okay, and thank you, Pop. I appreciate that.
I,
And thank
I
you for
wish I
being
had a,
there. I really appreciate that.
oh, glad to do it. And honestly, I wish I had a PS5 so I can get on there and play with you. I don't know if that, what is it, Elden Rings or that one that you're playing? I don't know if that's two player online or not, but it'd be fun to play Red Dead Redemption with you.
Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. Yeah, it's yeah, maybe in the future.
Yeah, I'll keep my fingers crossed, right?
Hell
We'll
yeah,
see what
dude.
happens. Right. I don't know, honestly, you guys know my situation and my story that I've got a crappy internet signal, so even if I went out tomorrow and bought a PS5, I don't know if I'd be able to get a good enough signal to really do any good gaming out of it anyway. We might be able to do some fishing on Red Dead Redemption, but I don't know about any high speed stuff.
Well, I mean, fishing's all you need, right? Random murder, random slaughter. I mean, it's all good, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's all I need. It's enough to keep me entertained.
hundred
And I want to
percent.
say, yeah, I want to especially say a very warm welcome to everybody in the chat, all my wonderful friends. And it looks like Edge of Time is the first one here tonight. And once again, thank you guys for your patience. I know I've been missing a few weeks here and there, but thank you for being here tonight for this movie. I think we'll have a good time. It's always good to see you guys, and it always raises my spirits. And I want to thank you for that. Edge of Time says, greetings from the edge of time. Oh, and hello, my other good buddy, Sean Carter. Hello, Sean Carter. Everybody, I want you to check out Sean Carter's channel. I want to shout out the sci-fi model guy. He has an amazing channel where he puts together sci-fi models from different movies and TV shows and stuff. And he just completed a Klingon D7 battle cruiser. And I mean, the guy is he is definitely goes in for the detail. I love it. He goes in and does all the hand painting, hand sanding, adding lights, everything. It looks fantastic. I'm so jealous. I wish I could do that kind of work. I wish I had an area to do it and the talent to do it. So yeah, shout out to you, Sean. Great work.
Yeah.
And his channel, Sci-Fi Model Guy.
Yeah. And hey, Sean, and hey, Edge of Time.
Yeah. Sean says, yay, looking forward to this. I'll try to finish dinner quickly. Sounds good, Sean. Take your time, don't choke. And Sean Carter says, hail at your time, you young Youngson. Youngson? Something
Youngstoon.
like that. I have to lean forward. Forgive me, guys, I'm half blind. I gotta wear glasses. And I'm using a laptop that sits like on a table across the table. So I've got to reach in and look at the detail to read some of these. So bear with me. Your patience is greatly appreciated. And we don't need to read my statement. Sean Carter says, hello, Pop Culture Curator. Likewise, Sean, such an amazing job you've been doing on your videos. Daniel's Hot Topics. Hello, Daniel. Good to see you.
Hey,
Daniel
Daniel.
says, hello, Pop. How are you guys doing tonight? The fact that I'm even able to stream tonight, I am happy. Like I said, as you guys know, I've been having problems intermittently with my internet, going off and on sometimes. I hope that doesn't happen tonight, but if it does, bear with me. If I happen to drop signal, Nemesis or Gorilla can keep the conversation going until I can try to log back in. And also, Gorilla, I'm going to try hosting the movie like I usually do with the slideshow. But if it doesn't work, I may need your help
Okay,
pulling it up.
I got a source I can pull up. We'll have to do
Bless
10
you.
seconds. Yep.
Bless you,
Which
man.
with this movie, it wouldn't be much of a problem.
Bless you. Thank you for that, sir. All right. And Daniel, let's see, I said that, I believe. And Sean Carter says, thanks, Pop. Oh, it is more than my pleasure, Sean. More than my pleasure. Good talent deserves to be noticed. And Nemesis Beaton, thank you, Nemesis, for dropping a link there for Sean's channel. Please check that out, everybody. He's got, by the way, he's also got other models that he's been working on and completed. So he's got a library of stuff that keep you entertained. So yeah, I couldn't recommend it anymore.
He's also
And
been
Nemesis
doing
Beaton
the
dropped.
retro. Sorry, Pop. He's also Sean Kerr has also been doing the retro reels and games, which is that link right there. He's been playing Baldur's Gate on PC. Definitely check
Oh,
it out. It's old school and amazing.
that's right. Yeah. Thank you for putting that in there, Nemesis.
You're welcome.
And Nemesis Beaton says, yeah, definitely check out Sean's channels. And Sean says, I was trying to say, see you soon. To Edge of Time. Typo. We all understand. Yeah. Been there and done that. Especially me. I can only type with one hand right now. So, yeah, that's definitely a common occurrence. Sean Carter says, hail, Daniel's Hot Topics. And Sean says, Nemesis Beaton, and same for Nemesis. I ghost. Hold on. A good game is streaming. I'm probably butchering that, guys, because of my eyesight. I apologize.
No, you got that right. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being on the game stream. Same to Daniel, Pop, Gorilla, everyone who pops in. Thank you for being on my streams, guys. I appreciate it. You all rock.
Right. Don't judge people's literacy by my reading skills because I'm an idiot and it's hard for me to see clearly. And not to mention, I'm using 99-cent glasses, reading glasses, so that explains a lot. And then Mr. Beaton says, back at you, buddy, to Sean Carter. And then Mr. Beaton says, hail, Daniel, I hope you are well. Oops, we don't need a stream element spot. But I do believe that means we are caught up to the chat, which is a good thing. All right. So before we get started, and before I forget, which I always seem to be doing these days, next week for our horror sci-fi stream, I know I've gotten off track because we missed a few streams. So what are we supposed to be showing next? Is it like a sci-fi movie? Is it a horror movie? I know we part of it is rotating between Hammer's Frankenstein and Dracula. So we know we got that covered tonight with Dracula. So what is it next week, you guys? Do you remember Nemesis or Gorilla?
I don't
At
remember.
this point, it's we could just do a movie poll again, Pop, if you wanted to do that, and we can just kind of start fresh. It's the beginning of the month, right? Basically, ish.
Good
I
idea.
think maybe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a very good idea. And thinking Nemesis, yeah, we'll do that. I'll throw up a poll with 4 titles in it, and I'll let you guys be the judge. People seem to like doing the polls, and I like it too because it gives you guys some input. So that'll be great. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to start. Let me see how I'm doing here with my source material and see how it looks really quick. Bear with me, everybody. Excellent. That's a bit of good news. Usually my luck isn't running so well, but so far so good. Tonight I did amazing. I actually tried to download this movie from the high seas, and I thought I had already acquired it 2 weeks ago, but I went to look today and said, no, I don't even have the movie. And it was this afternoon. It was like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I thought, oh, I better get on the ball and start downloading it. And I did, and lo and behold, it was able to finish just now. So I guess enough lip service helped it stretch out there.
Hey, at least you got it. Like, at least there's that. Like, it's always frustrating when you think you have something done, and then all of a sudden you're just like, no.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, so this one, I'm not, as I was telling Pop backstage, kind of had problems with this Dracula film. We'll discuss it to the points that I've had problems with as we get there. But all in all, this one hits a lot more lighthearted than any of the other Hammer horror films we've watched.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, like it's you don't necessarily have to have the dark. I mean, we do get the dark foreboding atmosphere, especially once we get up to Dracula's castle and whatnot. Like once again, the set designs are pretty good in this one. Not as good as previous ones because unfortunately we don't get a lot of the interior of Dracula's castle, but
Right.
at the same time,
Unfortunately, due to circumstances in the movie at the very beginning, Dracula's castle is mostly off limits for this movie. And you'll
yeah.
see why here coming up shortly.
Oh, quick crack.
Okay, is there anything? Oh, by the way, everybody, I know there's no poll in the chat yet. I will be adding that. Forgive me for my tardiness.
At your leisure, buddy. We've got all the movie discussion to get there.
All right. Hoping my voice will hold up fairly well. Here we go. And of course, the venerable Hammer film. And you make sure there's no volume so we don't get too many copyright warnings or strikes.
right? And you can just, it's funny because you can just tell even from here that this is starting to come into the 70s just from the shape of the title card alone, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Not only that, but another thing that we're going to start noticing, though, even though this is a Hammer movie, and we've spoken before about their production values and how Hammer films look on film, Hammer movies look on film, you'll start seeing a notice in the change of color. Because as we get in the 70s, they seem to have less and less color. At least in my opinion.
Interesting. And you'd think they get more.
Exactly, especially being a Hammer movie.
I do like the blood splatter effects with the title cards, how it just kind of spreads out through everywhere. It's a nice little touch.
Yep, I completely agree. And we get the introduction to our cast. And this is, I have to mention, of course, we'll see here shortly. But I wanted to do an extra shout out to Freddie Francis. Freddie Francis was one of Hammer's top directors. And when you go back and look at some of Hammer's most amazing work, you'll usually see his name on the top. And he's the one that I told you his son's name is Toby, who was the grocery store clerk in The Mist.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yes. So I kind of like Toby because, first of all, I'm a fan of Freddie Francis. I've grown up through all his movies. But then, yeah, the fact that Toby's his dad is Freddie Francis, yeah, I find that very, very cool. The guy's born into a geek family, pretty much.
Which is awesome. All right, so it starts off here, and we've got basically, what is this, the altar boy?
The altar boy arriving to the church to get ready for the morning's mass. Cheerful, happy, and gay. And I mean that when I use the word gay, I mean the old-fashioned term, by the way.
Of course. We're picking up what you're laying down. And so he goes to ring the bell, and oh my goodness, there's blood pouring down from it. What could this be?
Right. And by the way, the question you had for me before the stream, Nemesis,
Yes.
we should ask everybody, because maybe somebody here in the chat may have watched this and they kind of caught on to what you and I missed.
Yeah. So basically, my question to Pop at the beginning of the stream is, once this gentleman realizes where the blood's coming from, he's going to run up the stairs here really quickly, and we're going to get a big reveal. To what I can tell, they don't do a very good job of describing what time period this is right now. I've done some research on IMDb, and they've kind of come to a conclusion, and I'll mention that in a little bit. But for now,
No, you are right. Hammer kind of plays a little fast and loose as far as timelines go. So you're right about that part.
yeah. So from like, at least according to Wikipedia, this is a year before the previous film took place.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Dracula is still alive technically in this time period, and he hasn't drowned in the water like what happened in the last movie that we saw.
Right, which was actually shot like, 2 or 3 years before this? So
Yes.
when we do get to see Dracula for the first time in here, we will see that he is in the water where he was left from the last movie. Remember, that was also, we talked about that. That was part of the debate of that movie was, I don't know if it was out of the blue or if it's part of the lore, but last movie was where they first brought up about a vampire having a fear of running water. Because that's how they were able to eliminate Dracula.
Yes. Yeah, it was like he short-circuited at the beginning of or at the end of the movie. As soon as he touched the water, he lost all of his supernatural strength and drowned. So,
Correct.
and I mean, once again, I love just the vivid Hammer horror blood. You're just like, oh, crazy. And unfortunately, so we have the priest here. The altar boy has run away, and so the priest has come up to investigate. And boom, there we go. Here's a dead woman in a church bell.
Right. So, right. The pastor goes up to investigate why the altar boy is acting crazy. Goes up there, and when he moves the bell, this woman's body pops out, and it reveals. Let's see here. That she does have blood coming from her neck. There we go.
There we go.
So, when Nemesis and I were talking about in the background, and this is an open question to everybody. If you've seen the movie before, or if you were able to watch it here recently when I posted the link for tonight's stream, do you guys know how this woman got killed? Because apparently Dracula has not been resurrected yet. So how in the heck did she get killed and stuff up the bell? I don't know. What do you guys say? Did you have any ideas or suggestions, Gorilla?
I was thinking maybe this like they did a flashback thing without telling us they did a flashback thing.
Oh, but then
That's a good idea.
No, that is a good idea. But then the altar boy is already mentally messed up now. Remember?
Okay, but I got a question here.
Unless this was a year ago, before Dracula was destroyed. Anyway, go ahead.
Good, Ben. But doesn't the two pricks on the neck look a lot different than the other two movies?
Can you see the pricks in this one?
Yeah, the two dark spots right on the neck.
I'm looking. I see the blood.
Yeah, right above it or below it.
Yeah. There's the little round puncture marks. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's just a stylistic choice or if that's just they have a different special effects artist or what's going on with that. I think you're right, Gorilla. I think this is a flashback, but they don't tell us it's a flashback, so it's very confusing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it also those looked a lot different than what I thought they looked like in previous movies.
But it's very likely. It's very possible. Okay. So here's where we have time passing because it's raining. Now it's snowing. So they do a good job of showing time passing here. There we go. And the seasons pass. So now supposedly it's a year late. I'm guessing a year later. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And the Monsignor is coming to visit the small town to see how everything's going.
Yeah, so therein lies.
Oh, we lost the.
Sorry, my people driving by. I'm outside having a quick smoke. So therein lies the time pass. It was very subtle with the wind and the snow implying that there's been a year. They just didn't tell us that this was still back when Dracula was still alive.
Gotcha. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that even before all the shit hits the fan at the beginning of the movie, that priest is a creep. He looks like a creep to me. I'm wondering if that was intentional on the makeup artist's part or not. I don't know.
I think so. I would agree with you, Pop. He has a certain air about him that's very, creepish, foreboding. Yeah, he's portrayed in that light to begin with, and then as the movie progresses, we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, plus, and they're telling us pretty much that it's been a year since Dracula was eliminated, and this guy's been holding mass for an entire year for nobody. Every Sunday he goes in there and just says hello, good morning, goodbye. So he's an outright coward. and then straight to the pub to get drunk. So yeah, he's not much of a, I would say, Christian in good standing, at least in my opinion.
No, I would agree with you on that, Pop.
And of course, the Monsignor arrives and notices that where is everybody? Shouldn't there be a big old mass going on right now? Shouldn't we be raking in the cash?
Well, he's wondering. Now, is this the only? Is this the only church in the town there?
Yes, Catholic church in this town. Because we see later on where he asks the boyfriend, "Are you Protestant?" So yeah, so we're assuming yes, there are other religions, but this is the only Catholic church in that town.
Okay. And PvP, check Twitter.
Hey PvP. Oh, by the way, everybody, I've been having a little bit of difficulties with my Twitter lately on my laptop. So if you guys have been messaging me, there may be a bit of a delay, and I apologize for that. I've been working on getting the issue corrected.
All right. I'm gonna let's do chats real quick here.
Thank you.
And Daniel said, "I never saw this movie before ever." Well then it's one for me. I classify it. If you're a Dracula fan, go ahead and watch it. Or if you're not a or if you got nothing to do on a Saturday night, go ahead and watch it there.
Yeah, I agree.
Dale says hello, Nemesis. And he goes, in my opinion, the best
Hey-o.
Dracula is Bela Lugosi.
That's
Oh,
fair.
look at
Bella's pretty good.
Yeah, welcome,
Yes, he is.
Sci-Fi Sit Dan. Welcome. He says hello to Pop. Or it was a victim from a previous film. Yeah, probably, maybe. And we talk about BBP. No link. I just sent you one. Welcome.
Yeah, I just got it a minute ago. I didn't see it at first, so
Yeah, no, I just sent it to you a minute
yeah,
ago.
there was nothing there before when I checked the first time. But
All right.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to set out invites on Twitter like I usually do because of the issue I've been having. So I've got to get that dealt with and corrected.
yeah, oh well, no worries.
Thank goodness for Gorilla being here. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of this. So once again, thank you, Gorilla. I really, really appreciate what you do for me.
Not a problem.
Yeah, dude, Gorilla the All-Star.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, and hello, PvP.
Hi, Nemesis. Hi, Pop. Hi, Gorilla. Hi, everybody.
Hello, PvP.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, Gorilla is very good at sending out links and reading the chats and doing all kinds of handy-dandy things for us.
Yep. So the Monsignor is asking the altar boy, what's going on? Where is everybody? And the altar boy just basically has a dumbfounded look on his face. And he just responds with grunts and groans and noises. So this is where the Monsignor realizes that he must be deaf and dumb. I don't know if it's still okay to use those words or not, but what are you going to say? Handicapped? I mean, the guy wasn't handicapped from birth.
I thought he was just IQ of 6 that just didn't have the helmet or the drill pad there.
Yeah,
Well, I think,
yeah.
So what, you thinking that he already had issues before he found the woman's body in the bell?
Yeah, but
Yes.
if you think he was deaf and dumb, then deaf there, that could be plausible too. I just thought he was more on the slow side.
Well, and that's kind of what I got to, just based on like the interactions that he has later in the movie with the Monsignor. I got the feeling that he was, on the slower side. Like that's kind of the whole reason why he was accepted into the church is because of, they take those type of people in, I think. I don't know. I don't claim to have any knowledge of that.
It depends on the church. Some churches will do that, because this is way back before like any kind of welfare, so they got to somehow survive somehow. So why don't you come do some services for the church, and we'll make sure that you are taken care of.
Yes,
Type
that's
deal.
always a possibility. Yes. Good
Well, even
suggestion, Gorilla.
yeah, even now there are programs from some churches that will help the needy or whatever that are very poor and in dire straits or whatever. There are programs available. So I would imagine even back then some churches did have something similar.
That's fair.
I do think the altar boy though. I don't think he's a complete idiot. Like he is probably the bravest one of all the villagers that would actually later on he does do something the other villagers are afraid to do. So I don't
Yeah.
totally write him off. But I think I would say deaf and dumb would be the words that would have been used back in the day when this film was made, probably.
And for sure, and then he would have ended up traumatized too by his. Well, obviously he had by his encounter. Like that's, I'm pretty sure anyone would encountering what he did.
Yeah, true. Except some of the ladies in the film don't seem to be terribly traumatized at first, anyway. If you know what
Well,
I
I
mean.
think most of the women, well, I don't know, it's either they're the granddaughter of the Monsignor or they're Zena, who works in the bar,
Nah.
who kind of plays fast and loose. But oh well, I guess it all depends on your perspective. All right.
And so this is the part where we basically find out why people aren't going to the church. It's because it's in the shadow of Dracula's castle.
Correct. So it's like they're always going to be looking for any reason to complain.
I think it's more the fact that they're still absolutely terrified that any prospect of anything that even touches, they've never been back up to the castle. They refuse to go look at it. They won't go in the church because it's even just cast in the shadow of Dracula. Like
It's like the shadow of evil kind of sentiment. I'm thinking for the villagers have, right? They're
totally.
frightened by the thought. Even the thought
Right.
scares the heck out of them.
Right. And this is back in the days where superstition ran rampant.
Oh yeah. Well,
So,
even
yeah.
today, even today, there's plenty of superstition out there. I think.
Yeah,
in the world.
it does still exist. You're right about that.
100%.
But yeah,
Well, and it's funny because Monsignor even chastises them for it too. And he's like, really, guys, it's been a year, blah blah blah. Instead, they're just like, oh god, no, we don't want to. They don't even want to.
yeah, you think he'd
They
be a
can't
little more.
handle the thought.
You think he'd be a little more understanding until he's got a little more, firsthand information of what's going on locally. Because he's just got there at this point, right? So,
No,
it
but
seems like.
supposedly he does know Dracula. The Dracula threat's been eliminated.
Hmm.
So I guess he's basically just upset about that. He looks. At least he's not too harsh on them. He does understand that it's a small town with their superstitious ways,
Hmm.
so he doesn't chastise them too harshly.
Yeah.
Well, and like I don't know what the rank of a Monsignor is in the Catholic Church, but like if he already knows about Dracula, I'm assuming he's pretty high up in the order. So
Yeah, I agree. In the same way, I don't know all the ins and outs or exacts, but yeah, but he seems to be relatively high up there.
oh my goodness. Yeah, he's if I can recall, the last main head, I can't remember who the last dude from the church was in the last movie. He seemed more of a dick than this guy does towards the villagers, if I recall correctly.
You're right about
my
that.
goodness.
I was thinking about that too because when we covered the last movie, we were talking about how the guy was kind of a jerk.
Right? And like it almost seems to be, well, the church seems to be a little harsh. So they employ harsh characters, right? So it kind of
Yes.
makes sense. I regret jumping. Hello there.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, I regret jumping.
I regret jumping.
Hello
Okay,
there.
bye.
Good to see you. Welcome. Glad you could join us. Sit back and enjoy yourself.
What we are doing is we're reviewing a movie that we watched on our own called Dracula Has Risen from the Grave from 1968 there. This is our horror sci-fi that we do every Tuesday night.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Monsignor is it's actually not it's a form of address, not an appointment such as a bishop or cardinal would be. A priest cannot be made a Monsignor or become a Monsignor of the parish. The title is normally used by clergy who have received one of three classes of papal honors. So it seems it's something that the Pope would have to bestow upon a member that has rendered a valuable service or
Oh,
provided a
okay.
special function. Something like that, right, guys?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay.
Well, if the
Just thought
Pope
I'd fill
was,
it in.
yeah, if the Pope was involved, that sounds like it's pretty high up there.
He would have had
Yeah.
to done something impressive within the church, I would think, to get that honor. That would make sense, right?
Yes.
So
All right.
now he's
That's
getting chewed out for having an empty church
Right.
because they got to make that money somehow.
Exactly.
100%.
Right. I'm surprised he didn't mention that in the script. But they say, hey, we haven't been getting any money. I'm here to collect. Like the mob.
Right.
Right. We haven't been hearing from you. Where's the boys?
Right? Where's the tithe? Well, how come no one's been paying their dues? Like, why is, it's,
Maybe they didn't want to come down too harshly on the church, just because maybe the church would have sent them a letter and saying, "Hey guys, come on."
Exactly.
well, and it's funny because, like, you can recognize just how powerful this dude is immediately because he tells the bar owner he wants a private word with the priest, and the bar owner kicks everyone out of the bar instead of just being like,
I would have told the guy, okay, go ahead, step outside. I'm not going to lose a whole day's earnings because of you. But you're right. Yeah. All you got to do is what he says goes, apparently.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of that made me laugh. Actually, I found that seemed a bit comical. Like I felt really bad for the poor barkeep because he's losing all that money tonight, right? And it's like, yeah, that doesn't seem very fair,
Right. You does not look rich at all.
Yeah.
I will say I love the costume design. Like, I know it's very simple and plain, but like even with the Monsignor there with the black and the blood red, once again, just a little hammer horror element where it pops out.
True.
That's like generally. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
I was just gonna say I like it because it reminds me of the skit from Monty Python, the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm just going to say, I think costumes generally back in the 50s, 60s, 70s era seem to be much more well designed and well made compared to a lot of the stuff that they're putting out these days.
Yeah, and these days they don't do a lot of period pieces either.
No, unfortunately not. Or they've changed them so they're not historically accurate. Hello, Lemon Pie. Good to see you here, dude. And
hello, Lemon Pie.
Hey, Scurvy. And I regret jumping says there should be a sequel where the Pope gets bit and becomes a vampire too. That way he can disfellowship all the clergy and become invincible.
Well, that's true.
That's a good idea. You need to direct that. I regret jumping.
But of course, remember now, if you make it these days, it's got to be a woman in power, girl boss, all that kind of stuff, right?
Girl Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Scurvy, I don't know who this gentleman you are speaking of.
Apparently somebody
I
on the
mean,
panel or in the chat. I'm not sure.
Well, he said, "Hey,
he's
gentlemen."
talking about Pop, obviously, very clearly. Pop's a gentleman. I don't know about me or Gorilla, but like, but once again, yeah, like just the set design even there, very simple, but it says a lot. And here we go. Dude, just hefts that massive gold cross just off the altar. Like that would weigh a lot.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the value of something like that? Solid gold cross like that? My goodness.
Church had it back in the day.
You won't see that.
And they're just going to take it and put it up on Dracula's door and leave it there. It's like, oh, well, who cares? It's our parishioners' money anyway. We can get some more.
Well, they won't they won't have those in the churches anymore. Heck, even the chalices at the churches now, they got them heavily duty locked up there just put the stuff, just in the hopes that nobody will steal them.
You got that right.
Brutal.
Now we're living in a day and age where you guys have seen where they're outright robbing the priest at gunpoint right during the sermon. It's like, my goodness, well, you know, how much lower can they possibly go?
Yeah, and Scurry's here says, "Gentleman plus Gorilla."
Oh.
And I'm the one with the classy avatar.
No, you're gangster Capone, Gorilla.
Yeah.
Capone Gorilla.
And Iron Jumping says Netflix has just picked it up. Popula will be coming spring at 2025.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What did Netflix just pick up?
I was thinking making a joke with the movie you told me, right? That Netflix picked up will be released spring of 2025.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because he's a pope, so it'll be popular. You're just like, ah.
And I regret jumping says, which one of you is the Rich Evans? Rich Evans.
I'm going to show my age and say I don't know what that means.
I do. Rich Evans is a fat, funny guy from Red Letter Media.
Okay.
And I don't know if I like Rich Evans a lot. I'm a big fan of Red Letter Media, so I like Mike, Jay, and Rich, all three of them. I don't know if I would hold myself up to that high of a standard. I don't know if I'm that good as Rich Evans because he's pretty good and he's pretty funny. If you guys do not know who we're talking about, check out Red Letter Media, and you will be glad you did. I promise.
All right, and Scurvy is laughing here.
So now we have the Monsignor struggling to get that cross up there. And the priest is following further and further behind. So not only is he spiritually weaker than the Monsignor, but he's also physically weaker.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not setting a good example. He's.
Yeah, and
sorry about the pooch.
Yeah, and the path that this guy's taken is, I think it's like the path my parents always took to school. You know, that they had to walk uphill through the mountains, carrying a heavy load for 5 miles.
Yeah, these guys had it easy though. There's no snow on the ground like I had to go through, and we had to watch over our backs for the snow monkeys. In my father's pajamas, by the way. Right? Like we didn't get fancy clothes like these guys.
Right, paradise.
100%.
No, and apparently Screw here has called me fat because he says Gorilla is the Rich Evans.
Gorilla's the Rich Evans.
You do make us laugh quite a bit, Gorilla, and I would hold you to that same degree, Pop.
And I want to apologize. I don't really mean that Rich Evans is the fat. I mean, I guess when it comes down to him and Mike Stucklosa are both heavy set. But Rich Evans is like the third wheel. He comes in and he adds a lot of laughter and humor to the situation.
Yeah.
So here's where the Monsignor tells the priest I know you can't make it, but just stay back and wait for me, and we'll go back together when I'm done. Yeah, he definitely should not have taken that priest with him in the first place.
Yeah.
And I think the Monsignor is somewhat older than the priest, too. So not only is he physically and spiritually stronger, but he's also older. And there he is climbing the mountain to Dracula's castle.
Boy,
And
that's
that does
quite a
look like a
climb.
long walk. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I hope he's got his hiking boots on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and got a canteen or two. Yeah. That looks
Really?
like a
Yeah.
day or two at least. Very foreboding.
I can understand why the parishioners don't go to church just for that climb every Sunday. Like, wow.
No, they're going to Dracula's castle.
Oh, that's the castle, right? Okay, so I'm getting it mixed up here.
Right. This is Dracula's castle.
Right. Okay. I have a question. It's not clear in the film, but I'm guessing that the church was built sometime after the castle had already been there.
They haven't established, but I'm guessing too. Because
Hmm.
obviously, according to the lore, Dracula's supposed to be several hundred years old. But we don't know when he came over from Transylvania. I don't know if they ever established that or not.
Yeah,
Not yet. Not in the lore yet. Anyway.
yeah. I was just thinking because if they had any idea that Dracula was hanging out there, they probably wouldn't have built the church in the shadow of it, right? So I'm guessing
Yes.
they must have built the church previous to Dracula showing up.
And it's amazing too when you think about Britain and England and all those countries. But the fact that they appreciate their architecture and a lot of those buildings are still around, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's one reason I always wanted to go to Europe just to see the architecture. Like I could spend probably weeks, if not months, going and looking at all the architectural sites.
That's what I thought about when I saw Monty Python, the Holy Grail. I thought, wow, I would love to go see those old castles. A lot of they were all mostly real castles they shot in and around.
Yeah, and all the cathedrals. The cathedrals are amazing too.
Yeah,
By the way, speaking of Monty Python, I posted in the private chat a sketch called "The Bishop," which is pretty funny. So you guys might want to check that out later on. It's pretty good.
cool. So now is where he starts the process of exorcising Dracula's castle. And of course, you got to have the drama, and the storm comes, the lightning, thunder, all that stuff. But he's not going to let that stop. He continues.
Well, and unfortunately, he's inadvertently resurrecting Dracula.
Well,
He
well,
doesn't know it. He thinks he's performing an exorcism. He's actually.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Bob. You sound like you got something to say about it.
No, I was just going to take a breath for a second. But I was just going to say part of what he's doing is part of what's causing Dracula to come back. Yes, but the majority of it is because the idiotic priest fell back, bunked his head, cracked it open, blood leaked down to where Dracula was, and it was from the blood of the priest is what brought Dracula back to life.
Right, but was it the lightning from the storm that initially caused the crack in the ice? Or did I misinterpret that?
You could be right. I don't know that. They just showed the face in the ice, and then you see a crack. So you could be right. I don't know.
But you make a good point. Yeah, no, he's partially responsible, but there's also the other priest, yeah, and getting at the blood, because of course, it's always the blood that resurrects Dracula. That's just how it goes.
Exactly right. And I'm guessing it has partially to do with the fact that it's the blood of a priest. Even though he's not a pure practicing priest. I guess he's practicing, but he's not pure. and there's a crack. So I don't know if they exactly show when or how the crack occurs. But I'm glad I'm just able to show these clips. Usually I can't show deadly on these streams with my bandwidth the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I think that the force of the fall of the preacher there caused the crack. Plus you got the supernatural element of it.
You could be right about that too. It could be the forces of free flowing.
It kind of looked like that to me too, actually. That it was the priest's impact on the ice that that caused that big crack.
Okay, I completely misinterpreted that. All right, thanks for the clarification, boys.
You're welcome. That's one heck of a cross.
Yeah, and can you imagine, like I said too, if it's solid gold, the weight with that thing with you, the value.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the value, the weight, and the fact that they're lingering on the cross, right? Some tells me that's going to show up later in the movie.
So here's where they clearly show us that the blood of the priest ran down the rocks and into Dracula's mouth.
I'm just wondering though, Dracula, he's not actually, in a way, he's not really dead. It's almost like he's just, frozen.
Yeah, kind of like hibernation.
He's in stasis.
Yeah, he's in, stasis. Good one. Yeah, stasis. Yeah. So it's not like he ever really was dead for the last year or whatever.
So ideally, if we're out to hunt Dracula, we need to make sure the body is destroyed.
And the ashes scatter to the winds, because otherwise,
yes.
Even if you have the ashes, he can still resurrect from that, right? That's why it's so hard to kill him. It's crazy.
I like how they keep inventing new ways for him to come back too. Here we go.
Hammer blood. I love it.
Man, you can tell it just you can tell it's red paint, but it still works really good.
Yes. Well, it's actually not paint. Red food coloring, Taro corn syrup, and peanut butter. And then it's just a variation of those three ingredients, depending on what movie you're watching and what studio. But that's the ingredients that here's the way it works. Like you guys have seen, like on Halloween, where they sell the fake blood in those tubes. And it says, do not ingest, do not put in your mouth. That stuff, right, that is all chemicals, and you're not going to put that in your mouth. But when they're making movies, and I'll give you a good example, and this is where I learned this, was from the Evil Dead movies. And Bruce Campbell, when I read the books because I read the behind-the-scenes books, the Evil Dead Companion, everything about Evil Dead that could be read, I read. And Bruce Campbell, that's where he talked about the recipe, that it was, like I said, Taro corn syrup, red food coloring, and peanut butter. And that way it also tastes good. The actor could have it in their mouth, but also the taste was palatable. And also, in zombie movies, when they show them consume flesh, like in Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, all that stuff, and they give them like bologna or something. Usually give up the actor something that tastes like crap. So that's why they would smother it in that fake blood. That would at least give it somewhat of a palatable taste. So there's a short history on movie blood.
Which is funny because, I remember having trying to come up, and I'm knowing that knowledge earlier, and I used watered down ketchup, and you want to talk about unpalatable fake blood, Jesus. Yeah, not recommended.
Yeah, and you can't get ketchup to look just right. So yeah, if you're wondering, and I'll let you ketchup, sure, I like ketchup on my fries and my stuff like that, but eating it like that, I don't know about that. It does not sound very palatable.
No, it's awful. It's pretty gross. Not recommended.
And peanut butter, I can handle. Peanut butter caramel syrup. It's sticky. Bruce Campbell said that when it dries, that your clothes would be stiff. He said you could stand the pants up in the corner. And they're very brittle and cold, but it has the right look. and it's a simple
Yeah.
recipe.
Well, it's one of the only other recipes that I know was the red Kool-Aid, and because people would use that, but apparently you get that in your eyes or your nose, it burns. And here we have Christopher Lee getting back to the movie. Oh, doesn't he look just fantastic?
Very, very opposing and foreboding. And this is immediately where, without a word having to be uttered, that priest knows who's the boss. And it's like, you fucked up, so it's your fault.
Yeah.
So you're now my servant.
Yeah. I'm your
Yeah.
daddy now.
Well, I think
That's
when
right.
you see those red eyes, you're kind of screwed, right?
Well, I've always viewed that as a form of either spellcraft or he's doing something. He's bewitching or charming the people or doing a force of will onto them.
Yes.
Right? Whenever you see the zoom in of the eyes, that to me is what that is. It's a domination of the spirit or the will. You're just like, you're mine.
Right.
Well,
And the more red in the eyes, the stronger the signal or whatever it is that he's putting across.
Yes.
It's kind of almost like telepathy or something entering the victim's mind, taking control over them. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Almost like a
He-
Vulcan mind meld kind of thing, really, when I think about it.
Yeah,
You know, gosh.
PvP. PvP is. I have a movie in mind. Last time I brought it up, you weren't around. But have you seen the movie Love at First Bite with George Hamilton and Susan St. James?
I've heard it's great, but I unfortunately have not yet seen that one.
All right, I'm gonna find that clip where Dracula versus a psychiatrist, and they're trying to hypnotize each other. It's hilarious. Okay. Meanwhile, the Monsignor returns, minus the priest, and he's asking, "Has anybody seen the priest?" And the pub owner basically says, "Oh yeah, he came in earlier, but he said he was going to be busy tonight." So that pretty much.
And of course, the Monsignor is just flabbergasted. Oh, sorry, Pop.
No, I was just going to say that pretty much tells the villagers that the priest didn't have the stomach for it either, and he didn't carry out his part of the bargain. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, yeah, and I was just gonna say the Monsignor just seems flabbergasted at that. He's like, he came down, he's like, "Where are you?" And he's like just abandoned on the mountain. You're just like, oh fuck.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be too impressed. Like you come in, this is a member of your church that you're supposed to be the head of, and you're just like, oh my god, bro, no.
Well, you would expect too that guy would be the first thing the priest I'm talking about, the first thing that should be crossing his mind is to pack his bags and get the hell out of there because they're going to probably find another priest to take over that parish.
Yeah, you would think, but I mean, he seems pretty. I don't know, not into it at all. He seems very depressed, to be quite honest.
What
Yeah.
I thought the priest was just very, very cowardly and weak-willed.
Oh yeah,
Like, he just seemed very weak-willed. Like he just didn't really seem to have any fight in him at all. That guy, you know.
exactly. And speaking of depressed, Dracula's not happy that he's got a little ornament on his front door.
Right?
Well, would you be mad too if the HOA came about while you're gone and decorated your home for you?
Yeah, exactly right. I
Right?
mean, I want blood.
So we do have a few more chats to catch up on.
Good idea. Thank you. How have you
Yeah.
done with that, Gorilla?
I was just about to step away. Can you cover him, Pop?
Yep. Let me take a look. Open it up. Give me a second, guys. Move a few windows around here. There we go. And I regret jumping. It says, priest needs to just shove it off already. The Ben Franklin look doesn't work for him. You're right about that. I suppose it's not his fault about his, let's say, vanishing hairline. Lemon Pie says, Nemesis is Jay, Pop is Mike. Oh, that's interesting. That's referring back to Red Letter Media. I wouldn't ever profess to have the knowledge those guys have. They seem to be very knowledgeable, which is why another reason why I love their channel. They're very knowledgeable with not only movies but how movies are put together. So when they review movies, they're very specific on why it's good or bad, and I like that because it's better than uneducated people up there like us saying why. Well, I don't like it. It just looks dumb. It sounds dumb. I'm just kidding. We're not uneducated, but there are people out there. There are a lot of opinions on YouTube where they don't know really how to convey their feelings because they're not educated in how movies are put together and constructed. I regret
Right,
that Dracula. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, no, there are like I'm sure those people have either like it's like James Rolfe, one of my favorite YouTubers. He's gone to film school and he's taking classes and he knows and has had gone through and knows. So there are these people know what to look for in movies, whereas like I've been very lucky to have you to teach me what to look for in movies, Pop. So like it's you need that critical eye versus just I like this or I didn't like that. Like they're coming at it with a professional viewpoint, like we're trying to do.
Exactly. I'm not Peter Jackson or Steven Spielberg, but I have been to film school, so I know how to point things out. If it's something I don't know, I'm not going to guess and lie to you guys and just give you the filler. I always ask for opinions, and that's why we do get a lot of people on our streams that are knowledgeable and they could fill in the blanks for us and things we don't know. So I love that. I appreciate it.
I think the worst that I've noticed is a lot of it seems like it's become a huge thing on YouTube is those review channels where some person that knows nothing about nothing starts reviewing movies or TV shows, and they often, totally don't get the film at all. They totally misunderstand what they're watching, and then, after they finish watching it, they babble on for a couple of minutes, making ridiculous comments that don't make any sense at all.
You talking about me?
Oh man, what's that?
You talking about me on that?
No, I'm not talking about you. No, sometimes if somebody's reviewing a movie I really really love, I'll just watch a bit of it just to see if they get it or if they don't get it, and sadly more often they don't get it, which is and yet they have hundreds and hundreds of subscribers following them every week. I just don't get it, but they do.
People will follow along that mindset. Like you can watch a reviewer that's extremely popular. He's got 10 million followers and subscribers, but he's talking about the pacing with 12 Angry Men. And it's like, no, I'm not even gonna bother because that's somebody who doesn't understand film. But yet some people like that perspective. So more power to them.
100%. We need differing opinions.
Yep.
The interesting thing, though, actually, it's interesting you mentioned 12 Angry Men because I have watched a couple of those channels where they've watched 12 Angry Men, and generally they seem to love the film and they actually do get it and do get what it's about and do get how great the cast
Most
is.
do, yes.
And how good the writing is. Like, it's one of those rare films that seems to actually resonate with the majority of people, at least that I've watched, their reviews of, and that
film
actually
lovers,
kind of surprised. Yeah. Well, even people that aren't
good,
familiar with the film, even younger people, they watch it and they realize how good it is, right?
Right, but when I say film lovers, I mean people that love film.
Right, yeah.
And I'm going to jump into Dracula is doing a makeup tutorial. And you are sitting up front. Sean Carter says that priest looks like Jason Alexander. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. That's a guy from Seinfeld, right?
Yep.
That's what I thought. Okay. And then Bias says George Costanza. Yep, I guess that's a double yes. I have a question because I never really watched Seinfeld. But I know, obviously, because Seinfeld is a big part of pop culture and the lore. So I know of it. I know the people who are in it. But my question for you guys out there, Jason Alexander Would you guys say he's like a one-hit wonder where he plays the same character all the time, or no?
I've only ever seen him in two things. Of course, Seinfeld, and then the other one was in Criminal Minds, where he played a
Oh,
serial killer. And he was decent in that. He wasn't.
okay,
I didn't
cool.
view it as George Costanza as a serial killer. I was just like, oh, okay, interesting. So I wouldn't say he's a one-trick pony, but like I think that's mostly for what he's known for. Oh.
Yeah, I'm mainly familiar with him from Seinfeld, which I imagine most people are, because I mean that show is what 10 years or something, so he pretty much got typecast by the time
Yeah,
it wrapped up, But I know one thing: he's a huge Star Trek fan, believe it or not, and I do believe he's been in maybe some episodes, like maybe of Deep Space Nine or something. He might have done a role in one of those. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he did appear as maybe a Vulcan or a Romulan or something in an episode or two. So he's a
yeah.
big Trekkie.
I think he may have popped up in the Orville as well,
I
possibly.
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah,
Joe would know. Yeah,
Joe would know. Yeah.
definitely. Okay, Jim Landscape says hello. Hello, Jim. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Jim.
Hi,
Hey,
Lemon.
Hey,
Jim.
Jim.
Sean. And Sean Carter says he was great in Think Tank, Season 1, Voyager. Oh, okay. Thank you. Sean Carter says, hey, Jim, and Lemon. And Lemon Pie says, hey, Jim. And Lemon Pie says, Sean. Okay. There, I believe that catches us up with the chat.
All right. Back to Christopher Lee being all like,
Well,
"Ah."
back to Dracula having his welcome home party. Who did this? Uh-oh, Monsignor. What a rat. He doesn't even hesitate to rat him out. And I was thinking about this.
Unsurprising, really.
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that. And I was thinking about this. This is where the Monsignor arrives at home for long needed rest. And you could tell this guy has money. And it's like, so, no offense, seriously, no offense to the Catholic Church or religion in general, but it just shows how materialistic religious people are. Look at that fine china back there. Can you imagine the value of that? I just can't see a Monsignor standing around at an auction saying, I want to buy fine china. But oh well.
But this ain't his house.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say.
That's his sister's house, but that's
She's a maid, I think.
no, but that's his niece here. I thought that was her mother, and that was that was the mother's brother.
Yeah, he's like, his brother's dead, so he's like looking after them or something like that, right? Isn't that what I got out of that, Gorilla?
Something like that. It was his house. Right, and they're all living off of him, I guess you could say. He's taking care of them. But of course, that comes with a price. Obviously, he's extremely controlling. I don't know if I'd want to live in a house like that with someone like that, but because I have done it before and it's not fun.
Like he's controlling or she's
the Monsignor.
He would be controlling Gorilla.
Well, I think that's kind of the way things were back then.
Well, yeah, back then, but even now, still, you get people like that, like drill sergeants. They go home and then, like, their family is their platoon. I've known people like that. Or that's why the old trope, the priest's daughter is always the one that gets in the most trouble because she lives under the most rules.
Yeah. Now the more you try and control, the freakier they get.
So she's reminding him they're having dinner tonight. So he's going to take a nap beforehand. And here's where Dracula needs a fresh new coffin and coach.
Yeah, and like Anna, the sister-in-law, the maid who's looking after the Monsignor there, I always liked her too. She doesn't have very many lines in this movie, but and then here we have, was it Paul? Mr. Paul?
Yeah, the love interest, the hero, I
Yeah.
guess. So he's going to be our flip side to the religious aspect of this movie. Because as we find out here, he goes to dinner at the Monsignor's house to meet the Monsignor. And to come to find out, he's also a very honest man. And he tells the Monsignor that he's an atheist. And I love that reaction on that Monsignor's face. I always love to see reactions like that on people that are in total control. When they lose it.
Well, I laughed at the part where it goes, "You're not Protestant, are you?"
Yeah, I know, exactly, right?
Like,
Oh no, I'm an atheist. Do you know who I am? It's like, yes, I do. Hey, props to Paul for being brave, but
Right.
Yeah, there's certain times when maybe it's not good to be too honest, especially if you're trying to date someone's daughter.
Oh, I know, but that guy's a Monsignor. I mean, if you lie, he's going to find out really fast. All it's going to take is 3 or 4 questions. He's going to find out you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
well, and it'd be even worse then because you lied to him. At the very least,
Yeah.
Paul's being honest. He's like, no, I'm an atheist, and it's just like, I respect
Well,
that. Get out of my house.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. He
did
may
the
not get
right
it
thing.
now. Right. He may not get it now, but that's a better way of earning respect is by telling the truth.
Yeah, well, we also have to have, as mentioned, that we do need an opposing force to the Monsignor. So he's kind of fits the bill, right? So
Yes.
him and Dracula is kind of a triumvirate between the three of them in a way, I guess.
But we do understand, because that makes you wonder, well, maybe we don't need the religious guy at all. Maybe we don't need the Monsignor. Maybe that young, strapping, young, handsome guy can do all the work and destroying Dracula and all that. But we realize even Dracula reminds us that religion plays a big part in the mythos.
A huge part, yeah, for sure, right? It's poignant as corrupt and as twisted as it can be with the church. They still need it because, which implies in this reality that God does exist, so the churches would be in place and would actually have some legitimacy.
Yes,
and here we have one of my favorite. Oh, thank you. And here we have Xena, one of my favorite characters in the film.
Yeah, she reminds me of the redhead from Starship Troopers.
Well,
Totally.
She's flirting with the guy that she knows is taken.
Yes.
Yeah, but she's a saucy bar wench. Don't you know that, girl? She
No,
don't care if
I
you're
ran
taken.
into my fair share of them.
She don't
None
care
of
if
them
you're
wanted
taken.
me, but of course, but that's a whole different song.
Don't care.
Oh, it sucks to be you,
don't
bro.
care.
No,
If she wants to take you, she'll take you. Anyway.
I have to step away from the mic for a moment. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, no worries, Pop.
Hey, OG, welcome.
Oh,
Hey, OG, what's going on, bro?
I think she's actually my favorite character in a way because she's so likable,
I'm pretty sure there's some attributes there you appreciate there.
I can think of a couple good reasons.
Oh,
you can think of 2 of them, huh?
At least 3.
Well, the thing was, so many of the people in the film are kind of laid back and reserved, and she's like got more life in her than any of the other characters, pretty much. And yet, we'll find out what happens eventually. But
well, she's working for tips,
No, she's working for tips.
Hey-oh.
Oh boy.
But she's like, no, but like you said, she's vivacious and she's sassy, right? Like the
Yeah,
one schoolboy's like trying to hit on her. He's like, oh, your things are overflowing. She's like, yeah, your flies are done. He's like, and like the whole bar laughs at him. So like, she's fantastic.
Yeah, I like her. She's fun, basically.
Yeah, Margaret Ewing is her name. Still alive, which is awesome. What's she all been in? Her first role was in the horror film Torture Garden. Cool. And then the next film was Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. The Reckoning, SOS Titanic, Eye of the Needle, Haunters of the Deep.
Wow.
When Whales Come, Mute. Fascinating, yeah. And as well as television roles. So yeah, no, she's good for her. Good for her. I liked her as an actress, so yeah, it's nice to see that she's still around and still doing stuff.
Oh, she's still going, is she? Wow.
Yes, still alive, still going.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's too bad, right? Like we've lost Christopher Lee, and he was a badass, and like yeah. But I mean, at the same time, like 60 years old is still.
Yeah, well.
I don't know. He was 80, no 90. No, in his 80s, because he was born in 22 and he died in 2015.
Yeah, so he'd be 102 today. So minus 7 years off of that, he was like 95.
There you go. Yeah.
Even though I'm lousy at math, I kind of calculated backwards there.
Dude, you got that faster than I did. I was just like, oh, dude, I don't want to whip out the calculator right now. I can't do basic arithmetic anymore. Like,
I'm terrible at math, like if it's complex, but when it's fairly simple, like day-to-day stuff, buying groceries, I can add it up in my head as I'm walking down the aisles with a shopping cart. And I come out within a couple of dollars and the total amount. Like I'm pretty good that way. But if I had to do calculus or something, it's like, forget it.
Yeah, math.
And so here we have.
One of my points. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it looks like you're back, Pop. So they've progressed to the drinking game that Paul is about to lose.
Yes.
Now, I like the singing that they had going on there, but you think they'd get a little upset with them holding a full beer glass on the ceiling? Wouldn't those glasses be expensive to make?
Yeah, you think about it.
I mean, it's a game with this entire bar. This isn't anything new for them, so I'm assuming they're either the cheap glasses or because I mean they're not going to be bringing out the fine china. And here when it comes, oh my land,
Little Red Riding Hood.
Nope.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Maria, yeah. And I mean, once again, very beautiful. I wasn't a fan of blondes growing up, but I mean, I can appreciate her now.
I don't know. I thought she was really good looking blonde.
She's very no. I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And Oiler Greg says, "Hammer horror."
That's right.
Hell yeah, bro.
And here's where we have the party / meet and greet / meeting from hell.
Right, which I kind of always found this to be a little bit hypocritical. They're like, "Oh, I don't want to be smelling like beer and blah blah blah." When I mean, I guess first impressions, right? You don't want to show up to like your girlfriend and meet your girlfriend's dad with like reeking like fucking whiskey or whatever. That'd probably be a bad impression, but like,
wait, right. You're not supposed to do that?
No, apparently not.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, they frown down on stuff like that. Especially when it's been dumped all over you.
Yeah, well, there's a subtle little thing here. When they walk in, she introduces them. The mother takes a sniff, like she smells something. She has like a like a look of disgust on her face, but quickly disappears.
Yeah. Well, she's a lot more tolerant of Maria's. She's a lot more tolerant in general of everything. Like
Right.
Anna is fantastic. Like
Yeah.
like I said, she doesn't get a lot of screen time, but the screen time that she does get speaks out to her character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just one of those subtle little things that there if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't notice.
I agree.
I'm glad you were paying attention.
Well, someone has to be.
I feel like that's supposed to be my job, bro.
I remember now, they've been lying about this guy from the beginning, building up his character to something it's not. Because at the very beginning of the movie, they told the Monsignor that he was going to be a doctor or professor or something like that, is what Anna said. And we come to find out, no, he's just a baker.
But no, I think he wants to be, but right now he's a baker.
Well, right when they show the pub scenes, like we'll show here pretty soon, Xena keeps telling him that you want to go back and finish your studies. You always have your nose stuck in a book. And I'm thinking, what? For what? Is that for bakery? I don't know.
No, it's because he wants to be a doctor, but he works here at the bakery, and he even makes a point. He's like, well, I don't want to be stuck here forever, dude. And like the old guy gets upset, and he's just like, really? And he's like, no, it's not you. It's just,
Right.
Yeah. So Paul's trying to. It's just where he's at right now. It's not where he wants to be.
Oh, absolutely. And he's still young. He's got his whole life ahead of him.
Totally.
So he offers, is it Jack, the young guy? A cigar?
Paul.
And he tells him no. Paul, thank you. And he tells him no, he doesn't smoke, which is a good thing because that's a nasty habit.
Yeah, damn smokers as I'm rolling up some weed.
Well, I'm saying for Monsignor, you'd think that he wouldn't have a habit like that. Booze, music,
Well,
alcohol, and smoking should not be part of their lifestyle.
That's why I find it funny that he gets upset at Paul for smelling like beer, and I'm like, weren't you the one who's like, I need a whiskey or whatever when he got that, or brandy? He needs brandy.
I thought
Exactly.
wine he's offering him. He's offering wine.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you talking about when he gets back after the dinner here where it's a disaster? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh,
No, I was talking
dinner.
Earlier?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Uh-oh, here's where he starts prying, asking about where he's from and what church he goes to. And of course, she knew that was inevitable. And of course, Anna's like the typical mother. She just wants to keep the peace. And the guy tells him, like, look, you said you wanted the truth. So the guy realizes that he's not wanted, and he says his goodbyes and good evenings to everybody. And apparently the Monsignor has nothing to say back to him in return. And meanwhile, back at the pub, and it looks like somebody's being spied upon.
Oh, I missed that part.
Oh, see? Yeah. He's creeping on her through the door. Because he's, yeah.
Definitely ultimate creep. Now, this is a priest. So yeah, I'd say keep him away from
it's the priest.
Kid. So now he comes back and he's disappointed. And Xena knows that apparently it must not have worked out because he's back so early. So he said, just give me some schnapps. Gorilla, what's your favorite schnapps?
Butterscotch.
That actually sounds yummy. I like butterscotch.
Yeah, drink that straight, but there. Just don't drink that stuff with the cavity. I'll tell you that right now.
If you were to recommend it to somebody who's never had it before, what do you recommend drinking it with to kind of water it down, a chaser?
Butters.
Or do you it's just straight only? That's the only way to do it.
That one's a straight only, but you got like green apple schnapps. Or no, wait, that's the sour pucker there. But
You can put it in an eggnog.
there you go.
Oh,
And virgin, do it in virgin eggnog.
Yes.
What is that?
Non-alcoholic eggnog.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Well, you're not making it once you put the schnapps in. It's not going to be virgin anymore. But
No,
Correct.
but yeah, usually eggnog has rum in it, so you don't want the rum in it to mix with the butterscotch schnapps.
no, that is correct.
So here we have, looks like Maria's doing a little bit of pouting. She's not very happy. So she decides to take a late night walk in the moors. And it looks like Paul, am I right with the name this time?
You got it.
It looks like Paul is 2 sheets to the wind. And considering he doesn't drink at all, he's extreme lightweight, which means he's probably pretty screwed up. And of course, Zena looks at this like her opportunity to get into his pants. So this goes to show you guys that some women could be just as nasty as men.
Oh, for sure. We're not so different.
Exactly. Especially when it comes to hormones.
Aha.
And they plop down into the bed. And she's not exactly playing hard to get. And here comes Maria walking along the rooftops.
And like, how, dude? Like, I'm all for like shortcuts and stuff, but like that just seems so sketchy to me. Different time, I guess, but like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't walk that in the wintertime. I wouldn't want to walk that even when there was a slight breeze or if it was wet. Like that, she looks like she's super high up.
Super
Second
high
story
up.
at least.
Yeah, and that's those Victorian shoes that have high heels and hard soles. So they look like they'd be slippery as hell. You know, the kind that lace up.
Yeah.
That's one thing about Hammer. You gotta love them, though. They're not shy of showing women breasts.
No, it's one of my favorite things about the series.
So here she is sneaking into Jack's room. Just in time. She reminds me of, I know a lot of younger guys aren't going to know who I'm talking about, but there was a blonde actress back in the day named Ursula Andress, and she kind of reminds me of her. Bad girl, bad girl. PvP, you still with us?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying
Okay.
to change the shipping rate on my eBay listing to the United Kingdom because somebody bought a CD. Well, they haven't bought it yet. They want to know if I'll ship to the UK, and so I'm
Okay,
just trying to add that so I can sell it to them.
no
Sorry,
problem.
I'm listening though. I'm listening. I'm just
That's all right.
on
Glad you're
another
here.
tab here.
Glad you're here.
Actually, I should be watching this because darn that barmaid is a buxom babe.
Mhm.
That's total female goodness right there.
And she's heterosexual.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a fun character.
So Maria's got Jack undressed. Paul undressed and in bed and ready to crash.
You know, it's kind of fun. Here that I was laughing so hard because first up, Barbie comes up there, lay them down there, laying together, kind of flirting with each other. Then she walks in, and she doesn't question what's he doing her doing it in his room like that. And they're getting him in the bed, and
Yeah,
the
exactly.
barmaid went to go take her pants off, and she's like, "No, no, 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 that's my job."
Or you
So
think
she
she'd be
takes her
going through
pants
the
off.
roof?
No, but I thought it was funny when the barmaid went to go take his pants off. Also, she goes, "No, no, no, that's my job. I do that."
Right.
That's right.
So
She's a good girl. But you got to think, right? Because like Paul has been living at the bar forever, so we don't know how long Paul has been living here. But Xena has obviously had a long enough time to develop feelings for Paul, even though Paul likes Maria. So
right.
it's a bit of a love triangle, right? So I'm assuming there wouldn't be a second thought of him or her helping him up and that what, because there'd be a friendship there at the very least.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, as soon as she started trying to take his pants off, yeah, I could see Maria getting a little snippy about that. Like, yeah, as Gorilla said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have Xena walking home, which we've all learned not a good thing to do in a vampire movie.
Yeah,
And then,
especially just like that.
right, and then we have Dracula's coach following after her. And Mr. Creepazoid, apparently in charge.
And it's an intense scene, right? Like you don't really get the gravitas with the stills here. But like, yeah, it's well done. The cinematography, the angles from underneath the carriage. Like, as someone who's been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 a lot lately, this is really good, right? Like, you feel like you're in the carriage trying to run somebody down. Like, it's intense.
Thank
It's well
you,
shot.
yes. Yes. And for any newcomers that are new here, we're not allowed to show a lot of video footage or we'll get copyright warnings. So that's why what you're seeing tonight is with no sound and mostly in slideshow format. So I do humbly apologize for that. But this is what we have to do unless I want my channel stricken down from YouTube for going against their guidelines.
Yeah, definitely recommend checking it out at least once on your own. As Gorilla said, if you got a Saturday off, definitely check it out.
Right.
If you're a fan of Dracula, check it out.
Right. And if you're not sure how, check out my community tab on my YouTube channel. And the link is still in there where you can go to the link and you can view the movie for free. I don't want you guys to have to go out and pay to see it. So before I recommend movies for our stream parties, I usually tend to figure out a way where people can stream them for free. So, and we do also be urged, because we don't want to spoil it for you. We want you to enjoy this movie on your own.
Totally.
And of course,
So she's seemingly
we're not supposed to know. Go ahead.
right, and this is another one of my problems with the movie. It's like, because it's shot in the daytime, it seems like Dracula's just like in the forest, hanging out in the woods, being like, it's shady enough. I'm okay here. You're just like, okay, I guess. But like, yeah, it's supposed to be nighttime right now.
Exactly. They do cover. That's why they shot it within the forest area to try to cover up the sun the best they could. But I mean, come on, we can all tell, and especially because we're more. This is 2024. Our audiences are more sophisticated now. Yeah, Dracula knows what he likes, and I can't say as I blame him.
Nope. No, I don't blame him at all. And she likes him too.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's been hard at since the beginning of the movie, so heck yeah. So here we have supposedly the next morning. So you guys think they did the deed or what?
Whoa,
I'm assuming so.
judging by the smile on their face, yes, it wasn't half bad.
Probably so, yeah. Which means if Monsignor doesn't like the fact that he's an atheist, he's for sure ain't gonna like this.
Yeah, she's been sleeping with an atheist. Oh
Oh
my.
yeah.
Oh my.
She's pretty gutsy though, walking along the building like that. Boy, she could have fallen to
Yeah.
her death.
Yeah, just strolling out, and now it's broad daylight. So anybody in the village can look out the window and see her.
Say, hey, isn't that the Monsignor's daughter coming out of his
Right.
bedroom window?
Looking all disheveled and tattered.
And happy.
Right, glowing, right. So here's where we have Xena noticing her wounds from the park the night before. So this is the way they're shooting her with the camera. They're already telling us that she's under some sort of spell already, the way she's moving around. Because already she's not acting like the normal Xena. And look who's all happy in the morning. Now those two, remember now, with those two, you got the priest in the foreground and Xena in the background. They both know about what happened last night with Dracula, but they're not talking about it directly. It's like an unspoken thing. Dracula's going to spill over both of them.
She still seems to be creeped out by him. She doesn't like him.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't like him. But she does when he asks for a room to stay, and the pub owner says no, that we don't have a room. She knows it's her duty and Dracula's orders that he has to stay there, so that's why she speaks up and says, "Yeah, we have a room next to Paul's."
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he didn't. He just didn't want a priest staying at him, even though the priest is in there all the time.
Right, he's the biggest alcoholic in the village.
Can we check on chats?
Good idea.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
All right. Greg says I trust the blonde girl already.
Same here.
And don't visit your girl.
Two good reasons to trust her.
Hell.
All right. Greg says don't visit your girlfriend's parents with blood still dripping from your fags.
No.
And he's going, cheers! He says, Dracula probably throws a wild Halloween party. Yeah?
Probably.
Yeah, but I bet the guests don't leave in the morning.
No, but it's not very happy.
All right. The girl has some awesome climbing skills. Oh, yeah, because she's always crawling along the roofs and shit. Crap.
Yeah, like a mountain goat.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if he was just talking about the climbing, along the roof. If you get my drift.
Okay. Let's see. They were very creative with the camera angles and the carriage scenes. They couldn't have had much room or time to shoot those scenes. They made the best of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Definitely not lazy.
Yeah, and other Greg says, thanks for the movie, Pop. And someone
My pleasure.
Yeah. And other Greg says, someone needs some eye drops. Get the red out. Oh, yeah, they got to get them some clear eyes. It's recommended by potheads. So
I use Visine myself.
And Sean says, he may be an atheist, but he sure made her call to God.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Oh, gorilla.
Sean, so far that's the comment of the night right there. And Kirby says, "Who doesn't like a wee bit of a taste?"
True. So true.
Daniel says, "Is that a priest at a bar?" This is,
Yes, it
like
is.
90% of the movie takes place at the bar.
Yeah, it does.
And Scurvy says, "Daniel, it sounds like a start of a joke. A priest walks into a bar." And see that girl laugh makes him Rich Evans. Oh, all right, we're all caught up.
Thank you, sir. So yes, that is a village priest imbibing. And him and Xena have secrets. And it looks like the young man there, Paul, I believe, is the only one that seems to notice that Xena is acting strange, or at least not like her usual self.
Yeah, she just keeps hiding her neck. That's one thing I know. She just
Yes.
keeps hiding the neck.
So now we have later on that evening, businesses in full force, bars full of patrons, and here he comes, of course, Mr. Creep Factor. And now, so I think Dracula already gave her orders to bring in the daughter of the Monsignor, right? I think that's why she's asking him about her.
Yes,
Asking him if
that
she's going to come in tonight, and he says he doesn't know.
that is correct, Bob.
Okay, I don't know how I missed that scene. But yeah, it was that whole scene where the priest said, I want the Monsignor's daughter. She goes, why? You have me. And then he knocks her
Yeah,
on the ground.
maybe we haven't gotten to that scene. Maybe it's just no, because
I think we
we're pretty
did.
far in the movie. I feel like we did.
Yeah, we had to have by now.
What scene?
Where the Dracula tells the barmaid Xena that he wants the Monsignor's daughter, and she says, "Why? You
No,
have me." And he knocks the crap out of her.
no, that comes out like it's coming up in like 3 minutes.
Oh, okay, look at you go, bro.
Because here, and how'd they get the coffin into the cellar of the bar?
Well, they probably did when everybody's asleep. And as far as logistics, Dracula's got super strength, so I don't think that was an issue. And I like this too. A nice little directorial touch is you can see that even though he's already officially Dracula's servant, you can see he fears opening that coffin and he dreads it. I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a very nice little touch. Because we've already established that he's a coward to begin with.
Yes, stream coward. So Dracula pretty much blows the crap out of the coffin. You know, of him standing there.
Yeah,
With the
notice
knight's
that
orders.
there was a different name on that coffin too. That it wasn't
Oh,
Dracula's.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
the name of the woman. Remember at the beginning when I said, okay, now Dracula's hunting down a new coffin and a new coach. It was
Yeah.
some lady's grave because they showed them dumping out her body. Like she had been, I'm guessing, a few months decomposing. So yeah, he's using somebody else's coffin because his is unfortunately stuck up at his castle with the cross on the door. So this is like Dracula the road trip style, I guess. This movie.
Yeah, and I believe it was the priest who ended up desecrating the grave and getting the
The woman.
the coffin.
Yep. I'm guessing desecrating a grave is definitely probably a no-no at the top of the list for priests.
You'd think.
I know. What has this guy not done at this point? Here it is. So here's where she meets Dracula for the first time, and she's all hella happy, you could tell. That's it. Yeah, you're right, Gorilla. So that's what she goes, what about me? You have me, and he knocks the crap out of her. He doesn't care. He wants the Monsignor's daughter. He wants revenge for the Monsignor,
Yeah.
right, desecrating his castle.
And Daniel goes, how many wives does Dracula have? He gets tons of wives across all the movies. How does he get so lucky? Well, to talk about the wives, like you keep getting new wives there when you keep murdering the previous ones, and
Yeah,
I think
you're right.
Roofies do the trick. That's it.
Oh,
That's a joke. I am not endorsing or at all roofing people.
no, not roofing people. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Don't
Yeah,
roofie people. It's not good.
no, he has mind control over her.
Yes, that is correct.
You
And
know,
the
I've
priest,
I've always found the whole thing with Dracula and the wives and all that, mythology. I don't see Dracula as a very sexy guy, really. I think he loves to
He's
bite,
not.
women on the neck, but I don't think he ever consummates any of his wives.
No, he
You know,
doesn't. Because he can't get an erection. Since he's dead, there's no blood pumping in his body, so Dracula cannot get an erection.
yeah,
So the only thing, everything is just about getting more blood
I think
and
it's all
using
about
them as
too.
servants.
It's all about control, I think, too, Pop. Like he loves to, bite people, and then he can take over their
Oh
mind
yeah,
and control them, and have them as basically slaves, as his underlings and his people to do his bidding. So I think it's all about power for Dracula. It's not about
that
sexuality
too.
at all.
Yes, I completely agree. There's zero sex. I remember having that discussion when Twilight was popular. I had friends who watched it.
Oh
This
yeah,
is girls, and they were talking about how cute what's his face was and how it's sexually attractive and all this. And I was trying to explain to them that a vampire cannot have sex, and they just don't get it. They don't. Their mind. Women don't. Well, guys, we know you got to have blood pumping in the body.
You can tack up popsicle sticks to it, but I mean, it's not the same.
I'm
All
thinking
right.
too. A lot of the fans of those movies were probably younger ladies.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
maybe haven't quite figured figured some of this stuff quite out yet.
yeah. The author of those books relied on the ignorance. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
The general audience of those books were like 16, 17 years old.
yeah, it seems like it. Yeah.
So here's where Maria gets her first glance at Dracula, but she's frozen in fear. And he's walking around looking for her. All the bar patrons are telling him, "Hey, Maria's here. Are you looking for her?" And they're joking with it. They think that he's kidding around the fact that he's walking around and he can't find her. And Dracula approaches. And he says, "No, no kidding, guys. I can't find her." But she's down. They're saying, "Well, she's down in the bakery," when she's actually down below the bakery. I don't know if it's a wine cellar or what.
I'm not
Unfortunately,
sure what that place was. The basement.
yeah, very wet, damp.
Pretty dank, yeah.
Maybe maybe it would be the seller, I guess.
Oh, Scurvy here said a priest, a rabbit, and Mister walk into a bar. The rabbit says that's a typo.
That's a good one, Lemon.
Right, there's what Gorilla was talking about, the different name on the coffin.
Ah, right.
And considering that, I know they didn't mention this in the movie and as part of the lore, but considering that Christopher Lee, the actor, I think he's like 6'4", 6'5". I mean, he was hella tall. They had to find an awfully tall woman in that city. Carla was her name.
Signs? Scenes? Look like SCINZ or something like that.
Possibly. And she's still in shock. She's telling everybody in the pub about the man with the red glowing eyes. And of course, they're all like, "We don't know what you're talking about. Dracula, what? Who's that? You don't know what you're talking about." You think they'd have a little bit of a reason to listen to her, at least a little bit. And it looks like I'm guessing Dracula had Xena for dinner.
Come on, man, wipe your mouth. What are you, Lord Denethorn?
Exactly right.
Yeah, you think he could have a napkin at least or something, right?
Oh, come on! I thought you're supposed to have some manners here.
Okay, so there's a better look at the top of the coffin. If it makes
Gisela
any importance.
Yeah, it's Gisela.
Gisela Hines, 1865 to 1905.
Unless that's a D, I can't.
1885 to 1905.
Yeah,
So barely 20 years old.
Yeah, unless that's a D there for the last name, but I'm not very good with that fancy lettering crap.
I think it might be Heinz. I think it's Heinz.
Okay. And hey, Suzanne.
Heinz would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. And hey, Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne, hope you're doing well. You're just in time for a Dracula movie, obviously. As you can see here, there's no beating around the bush.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne. Thanks for being here, and I appreciated your Lord Denethor joke there, Gorilla. That was fucking spot on. Holy shit! Too bad I was muted.
You know what? You get the duck for when he's eating a duck.
Oh, I get it. Popping it like tomatoes, anyways. Yeah, and unfortunately, so here we go. Dracula has ordered the priest to burn Xena's body before she becomes a full vampire and turns.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that fire wouldn't burn up the body? It'd just char it. There'd still be a lot of evidence left in there.
Dude, I know, right? I was like, what the fuck? And it would smell like, right? Like, the whole place would just reek like burning body. And be like, it's cold, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Wouldn't the customers up above start smelling it after like a little while and go, "Hey, what's that?"
Well, it smelled like maybe like a steak cooking, you know. But even then,
pork. It smells like pork, apparently.
Well, you would know, Nemesis, from experience.
Yeah.
But anyhow, would all the blood in your water in your body also put that fire out?
Well, it's not very realistic because I'm guessing this is what, a coal-fired fire, like they shovel coal into it. Okay, that's not going to be hot enough probably to do, because I mean, when they cremate people nowadays, they have like I think it's gas flames probably feeding it, and it's probably way more intense than a coal fire would ever get temperature wise. And even then, I mean, I've done a bit of research over the years. It generally takes about 8 hours for a crematorium to reduce a body to ashes and bones, bone fragments. So I don't think a coal fire is going to do the job. It'd take a long, long time in a coal fire, I'm thinking.
Well, they
So,
kind of brought that up. I don't know about scientific accuracy, but they brought that up in Return of the Living Dead when the coroner was talking about the temperatures to burn the body. And the guy said, "Well, we got to burn the bones." And he said, "Well, then we'll burn the bones." And he cranked it up even higher.
yeah,
Or the
yeah,
heart.
I think crematoriums operate at a very high temperature. I'm not sure what it would be, but I imagine it's very
Well,
high.
plus time wise, they're not going to want to spend 8 hours burning a body. So they're going to want to get rid of it as quick as possible.
Yeah, but I've heard that's about what it takes in a modern crematorium. That's how long it actually takes for a body to be reduced. Because I guess, it takes time. I mean, I guess the human body is a little more sturdy than we give it credit for.
Yeah. Mr. Creep's still creeping around. I guess she's on her way home. So I guess she just doesn't use the streets.
No, she uses the rooftops.
Exactly. Uh-oh,
I think she's doing it
busted.
so she can sneak in and out, right? But then, yeah, she gets busted by her mom.
Yeah, busted. At least it wasn't the Monsignor, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we boring you, Gorilla?
No. The new mattress topper's calling my name. That's all.
How'd that work
Well,
out
we're
for
almost
you?
done, bro.
How'd that work out for you, Gorilla?
Yeah, it's better than it was.
Oh, that's good.
Good thing I say it wouldn't be worth the $69, but it was worth the $39 I spent on it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Here we are having Maria play hard to get. And looks like Dracula's dropping by for a little visit. Little necky.
Well, he just wants to give her a kiss on the neck. That's all.
Right. Notice the eyes aren't red yet.
So do they only turn red when he's trying to control them?
Yes.
Control, and I think it's right as he gets ready to bite them. Kind of like a animal in the feeding mode, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Oh. I guess that's how they're telling us, the audience, that she got bit.
The loss of innocence, right? Pushing the doll off.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
very,
go ahead.
very symbolic. It's just very symbolic, yeah.
Poor Paul. I guess he's not going to be the first one there. I do have to say, though, I like these movies. I'm entertained by them. I enjoy them. But I miss when they don't have Peter Cushing in them.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big disappointment for me too. I think they're better movies when Cushing is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he adds a lot of gravitas to the movie. Don't get me wrong, Christopher Lee is the best part of this film. Next to, and I mean, Paul's decent, the acting's good, but yeah, no, the stage presence that those two have fighting off against each other is very real. I like it.
Yeah, I know it. Can't wait till we show the mummy. We have to show them to go at it again.
Cool.
Hasn't she had enough? I guess not.
And here comes the Monsignor.
Right, taking a lesson out of his daughter's book, or niece, or whatever she is.
Niece.
Thank you. Come on, old man, you can do it.
I gotta say, for an old guy, the Monsignor is in very good shape.
Yes, he is, and determined. I think that helps a lot.
Hmm.
When you think about it,
Yeah.
he's the only good driving force in this movie. Without him, that whole village would be screwed.
100%, right? Like, and it even showed that earlier on in the movie when he hefted across like it was nobody's business up a mountain.
Yep.
All right, let's catch up on chats real quick here.
I think he had a heart attack. Is that what they're showing here? Go ahead,
No,
Gorilla.
you got the crap beat out of him.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, Dale says, my friend told me that William Russell Ian Chester passed away today.
Wait a minute. Let me zoom in to read that. Hold on. Don't change it. My friend Jacob told me that William Russell in Chesterton passed away today. Oh, I wouldn't know who that is. I know I never watched Doctor Who. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sad regardless, but
Yeah, and Scurvy says this is officially an anti-roofie channel.
Yeah, you can say that.
yeah, getting roofied ain't fun.
And should I say hello to all of us there?
Hello, Suzanne. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well.
And all the individual hellos. And Xenia Warrior Princess is in this?
Yes, she is.
I have no idea who that is.
Except this one doesn't smoke cigarettes like a chain smoker. It was a TV series that used to be on the air back in the, what guys, 90s? 80s, 90s?
Maybe even 80, something around then. Yeah.
All right. So that's all the chats.
Thank you, Gorilla. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know there was a lot of guys fascinated with Lucy Lawless, one who played Xena. But the fact that she was a chain smoker, turns it off for me. Zero sex appeal. So he got his butt kicked, what, by Dracula or what, Gorilla? Who did it?
I can't remember. Nemesis?
I'm pretty sure
Oh, yeah, he's got blood on his forehead. I missed it.
it was either Dracula or the priest. But the priest that was under Dracula's control hits him, I believe.
It's
Yeah, I
possible,
think
and I apologize for missing that, guys.
Yeah.
No, it's not your fault.
Now that Nemesis has jarred my memory, I think the priest under Dracula's direction clobbered him in the head at some point. Yeah.
Gotcha. So let me guess, this is where he's filling Paul in on everything.
And then he gives him his blessing also.
Right. And by the way, you have my blessing since I'm dying anyway.
Yeah.
Which, once again, that's a big character development for the Monsignor.
Yes. Kind of looks like Roddy McDowell.
A little bit. Yeah.
She's just chilling. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he passed away, I think.
And that's why when he thinks he has a heart attack, because he sees the priest again, he's just like, "Ugh."
Okay, so when he saw the priest again, he passed out.
He either passed out or has a heart attack. I'm trying to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he dies. I mean, basically in this scene, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, because Paul called the priest over, not knowing that he was underneath of.
Dracula spell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then he pulls a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and smacks him in the head with a hammer.
No, I thought it was like the bottom of a lamp.
He's definitely an asshole.
It was the lamp. You were correct, Gorilla. And yes, you were correct, Bob. He is also an asshole.
So I'm gonna say it was the priest in the bedroom with the lamp.
Yes.
You got it. Clue.
See, it's kind of funny when we were playing games there. I was always like the master with Monopoly there. My sisters would always laugh at me with some of the trades I'd make, but they wouldn't be laughing for very long later in the game when they're paying me up a lot of rent and stuff. But my sister was always my middle sister there. She was always the master of Clue. I could never beat her in Clue, but I always won at Monopoly.
I love Clue. I could win every time. There's a secret to it, Gorilla, that if you know the secret, you can win it every single time.
Yeah, she never revealed to me her Miss Scarlet card, so I got it wrong with who it was.
Oh, then that's cheating.
No, because she'd always have the other cards. Like I'd always ask for like Miss Scarlet with the lead pipe in the hall, and she'd either show me the hall or the lead pipe type deal.
Okay, well, let me ask you guys a quick question. I know it's not related, but what do you guys think about the Clue movie with Tim Curry?
Never seen it.
I can't remember it.
Yeah, never seen it.
Wow, it's a good movie. We should cover it. It's not a horror movie yet. It's not horror sci-fi. But Gorilla, you need to cover it on your channel.
I like Tim Curry. I'd watch a Tim Curry movie.
Yep, and it's the game brought to life. I mean, it's not exactly like the game, obviously, but
maybe we'll cover it. Maybe we'll cover it on a Wednesday. Thereafter, we're done with Justified. So we only got like 6 more weeks of Justified left.
Right. But I have to say that without a doubt, it's one of the best game adaptations into a movie ever made. It's got a great cast. It's very entertaining, and Tim Curry does a magnificent job in it. Oh, I don't know, boy. You guys haven't seen it. Wow.
I might have seen it. I just don't remember it.
That means
I didn't like the board game growing up, so I had no appeal to watch the movie.
Well, Gorilla, if you don't remember, that means you haven't seen it. It's the kind of movie you'd remember. Looks like Paul's getting suspicious.
Wah, wah.
Show me where Dracula is. Did you make sure to go during the broad daylight? I kind of doubt it.
I don't think he would have known.
Yeah, I know. I think he's setting him up. What do you think?
100%. Right? Like, I don't think Paul would have any knowledge that you need to attack a vampire in the middle of the day when he's at his weakest.
Exactly. He knows none of the lore or the history because the Monsignor isn't around to help him. And he's listening to that snake. Oh, that could be wrong. So maybe the Monsignor, or maybe the priest turned a leaf and realized that he had to do what had to be done.
I don't think so, because he's like, you have to pray. He tells
But
Paul he has to pray, and
Yeah.
Paul refuses to do it. So
because he's
That's
an
another
atheist.
that's another addition in this movie, though, right? Because in previous movies, if you just staked him, he'd be done. But now you got to add prayers to the staking, so that's a new
You have
addition
to
in
have
this movie.
faith. Yeah, like in Fright Night, where it says you have to have faith for that to work, Mr. Vincent.
Yeah, but I mean, previously when he was staked, I mean, we didn't know if the person that staked him had faith or not. He just died, right? So
Yep.
it seems like another little twist they've added to this film. Just like they added water in the last film, and they're always
Yes.
adding something new, right?
Which I
To
like
keep it,
that.
yeah, keep
And
it
thank you to
interesting.
Hammer. Right, and thank you to Hammer Films for doing that, for building the lore.
Mm, that's definitely true.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I wish I could show more, but I'll get a copyright strike, damn it. Darn slides.
just encourages people to go see the movie themselves.
Yes, it does. And then we have a siren on the ceiling. But we know we had to have the match between our hero and Dracula, the bad guy.
Of course.
Look at that strength.
Just throws him, tosses him like a rag doll.
That's right. Just one hand around the neck is all he needs.
Yeah.
There's a pub holder helping him. Pub owner helping him. Our hero to the rescue at the crossroads. Oh, I've always wanted to own horses and ride horses.
Yeah, they're wonderful creatures. We had a couple growing up.
Amazing. So you had them as pets?
Yeah, they were just basically living lawnmowers for the property.
But did you guys have saddles and, go out and ride them and all that stuff?
Very rarely. We did have all that stuff, but they were more of just we just let them wander around, do their thing.
Graze.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
And here he comes in and he just goes, I need you guys to show me Dracula's castle. They all pretty much just tell him that off.
What's that?
Yeah. Well, they hear the carriage, but they think one board's gonna keep Dracula out of there.
Exactly. And the altar boy makes an appearance. You're not stopping me.
Well, yeah, thereby showing a little bit of courage, right? And character development for the altar boy.
Yeah, he's willing to take them all down. Well, I'm really happy and pleasantly surprised that my source is holding up tonight. My bandwidth, my internet. I don't know what's going on. I'm blessed tonight.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
Once again, one of the really nice things about this movie is just the cinematography, the camera angles, the shots. And here we have, once again, that cross showing back up.
Right, the matte paintings.
Mhm.
Take that down.
Now-
Now she's gonna lift that cross. Okay, let's
Now
see.
I got a question. So he's bitten them and turned them into vampires there. Why is it she can lift the cross but he can't?
She
He
hasn't
can't even
turned-
touch it.
She hasn't turned Gorilla.
Oh.
He's
Well, he
bitten her,
can't-
but he hasn't turned her yet.
I remember Gorilla, the lore. I mean, if he tries touching that cross, he'd burst into flames. Remember, it burns them.
Yeah, she's not actually a vampire at this point.
No.
It takes time. Just like that's why you got the priest to burn Xena before
Yeah, right.
she
And I think-
turned.
Well, it's
It
like
depends
Xena
on-
too.
Right. It depends
had-
on how much blood he drinks, how much of their blood he takes. If he takes too much, then that there's different levels. He could take there's a little bit of blood, which does nothing, and then there's a little bit more, which will put them under his power, and then a little more blood, which turns him into a vampire, and then he could take enough blood where he can actually just outright kill them. So it all depends on how much he drains their blood.
Well, it's like Xena. She didn't turn the first time he bit her. She turned like when he bit her. I guess the second time, wasn't it? Was when she turned. Well, she was going
I
to
believe
turn
so,
before he
yeah.
had her put it in the fire. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't show her holding it with one hand. Nice.
It's amazing she can lift that thing.
Exactly.
Dude, she's a champion. Yeah, Maria's a keeper for sure.
He's got to get moving. And now the best part. What a way to go.
But doesn't he have to say a prayer now?
Yes, he does. Someone has to say a prayer.
Right. Well, the Monsignor's not around. The priest from the village is still around, but can you trust him? Just give him a couple of Hail Marys and call it a day.
Dude, right?
Now, do 2 Hail Marys when you get home. If you're not feeling better by morning, give me a call.
Right. How about 2 Bloody Marys and not call you at all?
There you go.
Yeah. Look who's around. Help me, help me, help me. I don't know.
Then then right in the back.
Well, you
Right
think that's a cross. I mean, that's a cross. That should be roasting him from the inside out.
Just wait.
Yeah, that would have to be very uncomfortable. And here's your prayers, guys. I guess she's not completely out of the spell yet. So at least he finally gets vindicated, the priest. And after all the whole movie, he finally does what he's supposed to do. But does this mean he's going to quit drinking?
Probably not.
And he's bleeding from the eyes. All right, should we catch up on chats here, or just wait till after?
Wonderful idea. Thank you, sir.
All right, and is this girl a vampire? Apparently not yet.
No, she was under his spell, but now that he's kicked the coffin, she's completely back to normal.
Yeah.
Well, when he dies, I guess his power over any of his victims would die with him.
Yeah, I believe that's part of the lore.
Yeah. And Daniel says, I love the Clue movie with Tim Curry.
There we go. See?
Yeah. And the Clue movie is wonderfully funny.
Well, then you need to be there when we host it so that you can help describe the movie because it is a great movie. I wish I had a night for comedy. I would be hosting. It's a great movie.
All right. And Daniel says, Clue is a great game and a wonderful movie.
And it gives us all a chance to see the wonderful Christopher Lloyd again.
Yeah, and Scurvy here, is it a good movie? Apparently everybody says so. And the priest has a redemption at the end of this movie, doesn't he?
Sure enough.
And classically death scene.
Yes. And the hero saves the day. See, this is what I was talking about on my stream the other night. When I was talking about Furiosa being birth control. This is what I was talking about. This is what we don't get anymore. We don't get the hero, the damsel in distress, the hero saves her, and everybody lives happily ever after. We don't get any of that anymore. And it's terrible. I mean, I know it's predictable, and I know we've seen it before, but it gives us something, the audience, something to look forward to. Oh, I hate Furiosa. My God. I hope that whole franchise burns.
You know, the saddest thing is George Miller who directed it.
I know the same guy who built that franchise, right? Destroyed it.
I know he's destroying it. I just don't get it. So many directors, though, they start off as brilliant and creative and they turn into hacks.
And he's so stupid because of all time, now he's saying, well, not today, but when Furiosa was being released just before it hit the theaters, Mad Max is saying George Miller is saying this is going to be great. It's going to be best. I'm going to make a whole Furiosa series. We're going to call it Wasteland, and we're going to have like chapter 1 and 2, and all these delusions of grandeur. After he makes this fucking movie, and then he releases Furiosa, and then everything goes right straight to the shitter. Right where it belongs. So much for Dracula. And then right now, all the audience and all of us are going, okay, how are they going to bring him back? How are they going to bring him back? And we get our credits. Veronica, Carlson, and Barbara Ewing were the two beautiful women that highlighted this movie.
Yeah.
Of course, a Hammer film production. And they even managed to find time to have their tea. All right. And then, of course, make a liar out of myself. I did not put the poll up in the chat. So bear with me, guys. Let me do that really quick.
That's why your stream with the banding was so good. Because you didn't put the poll up.
Exactly right. Exactly. I'm going to do that right now, everybody. Hold on just a moment. So, what do you guys think in general?
Um, in general, like I said, probably my least favorite of all of the Hammer horror films that we reviewed so far.
Uh,
The acting was fine and solid, but I don't know. This one didn't capture my attention like the other ones did.
okay, well that's fine. And what do you guys think? What about the rest of you guys? PvP and
Yeah, I kind of agree with Nemesis. It was the least favorite of the Dracula films we've done so far. I think without Peter Cushing, that really hurt it a lot for me because we didn't have a strong antagonist, to counteract, Christopher Lee's Dracula. I mean, the Monsignor was okay, but he wasn't that interesting, and the young atheist, I found him just kind of weak and dull a lot of the time, to be honest. He just didn't do it for me. So there was really, I didn't feel like, Dracula had much of an opposition in this one. So that kind of bored me
true.
a bit. I mean, strong points. The cast was generally good. I mean, the acting was, fine. There wasn't any terrible acting. Then, like most Hammer films, the atmosphere, the sets, the cinematography. I mean, that was all, first rate as it always is. So that was a good plus in the film. But I also found the story kind of lacking. It's like, how much of the story takes place in the bloody bar? It's like, come on, you know, we could use a little more action, a little more outdoor scenes, perhaps, like that some films have had. Um, so I just found it overall lackluster. If I had to give it a rating, I'd maybe give it a C, but
Uh-huh.
that's about as high as I could go. To be honest, I don't think I rated much higher. The first two I thought were definitely better films. So yeah.
And Gorilla, how about you? What do you think?
Uh, like a PvP said, a lot of it took place just in that bar instead of in like around Dracula's castle, And it's like really slow pace there. And
Yeah.
some of the stuff didn't seem to make sense. Like where do you even place this movie? Like at the beginning there, the one guy was dead before the thing there without any type of even trying to explain it there.
Oh, you mean the
And
lady at the beginning and the bell?
the bell.
Gotcha.
And stuff. It's like they didn't even try to do the same makeup there. I think they could have done with the like, yeah, it's just too much bar things. Like, yeah, at least give us a couple more women in the bar to give us something to look at. It's like it's all guys to look at, and the just
That's
to
true.
make the one woman stand out. I think they could have substituted some of those guys for women, and then you could have it like the women be more scared than the guys there.
Well, in that
But
way, with more women, we might have had a bigger body count too, right?
it could have. It's just like, and that was the least climactic death scene for a Dracula that I've seen out of the three we've seen. It's just like, and it never did. Yeah, so I don't know what to grade this. I honestly don't like. A lot of points I was bored, but then there's a lot of points I was like, oh, cool. you know,
Okay, that's totally fine. I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a C plus. It was okay, and I agree with everything you guys said. And I don't want to repeat everything you guys said, but you're right. Compared to the other Hammer movies, there have been better ones. Um, it's sort of lacking Peter Cushing. That's not their fault, in hindsight. Back then, they didn't know Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee were going to become the big, huge stars that they eventually became. They didn't know at the time that those two were basically headlining Hammer Studios, and that those were the names on the marquees. They were putting butts in seats. But I like the Hammer women. The I like the cinematography. The direction was good for Freddie Francis. I know we didn't have a lot to work with script wise, but it was nice to see that they know how to admire beautiful women and photograph beautiful women the way they should be photographed. and I really do appreciate that. The young guy, the young hero, he was okay acting wise. He wasn't really, a plus grade, but he was serviceable. He was all right. They could have showed a little more scenery with him and the Monsignor going back and forth, and maybe like without saying it, but kind of like a montage where he did a little bit of a training with Paul and or is it Jack? Paul,
Paul,
right?
let it.
But what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna go back and make turn this into the Evil Dead. So yeah, I'll give it a C plus, and I'm so glad I watched it. And I've got my fingers crossed. So here's hoping the next one will be even better. Now remember now, since this is a Hammer Dracula movie, next one we'll be covering will be a Hammer Frankenstein movie with Peter Cushing. Okay. Now that's not next week. Next week we're doing the poll. Like we discussed earlier, we're going to put 4 titles up in the community tab to let you guys vote on. But the next time we cover a Hammer movie,
You
I
okay
was
about?
caught. I was caught at the wrong time. But next time when we do a Hammer movie, it will be Peter Cushing a Frankenstein movie. And I do eventually want to get around to showing a Hammer Frankenstein, not Frankenstein, but Hammer Mummy movie with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing because they made a really good one, at least one together with Christopher Lee as the mummy. And I've always been a fan of mummy movies. Serious, not the comedy action adventure with Brendan Fraser. No offense, you guys, those of you guys that watch it. But I like my serious mummy movies back from the Universal days and Hammer. And I wanted to say, well, I still can without gagging. By the way, thank you guys for being patient. My voice has been like hit and miss tonight, so thank you for your patience. But hopefully tomorrow night, Gorilla and myself will be back for 2 more episodes of Gilligan's Island season 3. We're going to be closing that series up here relatively soon. I can't wait. I'm hoping I can. I'm talking about my health here. My goal is to finish Gilligan's Island. We've gotten this far. I pray and hope that I'll be around long enough to finish Lost in Space. The horror sci-fi can run as long as I can, as long as I can last, because we know there's plenty of those. But tomorrow night, yeah, Gilligan's Island. Saturday night, Rumblings from the Lab. If I get bandwidth, if not, I'll reschedule that for another day. And then next Monday, we'll be back with another Lost in Space episode. The Space Vikings. Space Vikings. I had to think for a moment. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back with whatever movie we vote for in the poll. Like I said, I'll get within the next day or two here, I'll get a poll for that in my community tab and let you guys vote what you want to see. I'll probably make it 2 sci-fi and 2 horror and let you guys pick which one you want to see. So with that being said, Gorilla, tell us about your channel, please.
Let's see. Tomorrow, finishing up season 5, starting season 6 of Justified. For Cringe Stock, it's PvP's pick of Freddie got fingered in our all-out war that our total war we're having right now.
Hey, girl, maybe we should call a truce one of these weeks. So what do you think?
Oh no, you gonna start calling me a Canadian?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Start showing something that's funny.
We
Yeah, I
did.
wouldn't mind that.
We did. We had that one week we let LDG pick with Death Row Game Show.
Yes, and I want to thank you if you're listening. Thank you again for that LDG. That was a reprieve and a breath of fresh air to have that on there.
Yeah.
But sometimes bad movies are just bad movies and they're not funny. Like Freddie got fingered.
Yeah, but they're just fun to make up fun of.
Okay.
Well, girl keeps challenging me to match his really bad, awful movie. So I feel since that's what he wants, I'd have to give him
Yeah.
something like
Uh,
that.
all
Unfortunately.
right, all right. For the Waltons, it's the departure where John decides to abandon the family. There, that's season 3, episode 12. Uh, from around Saturday, unless the fish are really, really biting good and I have enough room in my bucket, uh, we should have 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine. Well, actually, I think the emissary is an hour and a half, so we'll do an episode uh, of Deep Space Nine. Then on Sunday, I got pulled in my community tab right now. Last time I checked, it was tied. Starship Troopers and my cousin Vinny were both tied at 41%. So
Okay.
make sure to go vote in the poll.
Everybody's voting what they've already seen as usual.
I don't know. I've never seen Starship Troopers.
No, I
Yes, you
voted for
have.
Vinny.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
voted.
okay. Okay. Starship Troopers 2, 3, and 4. Nemesis.
Oh, okay.
We'll
No,
do the whole
Yeah.
thing.
I voted for Vinny because I've never seen that, and I've seen Starship Troopers, so I don't need
Good.
to. So
I'm glad you did that, PvP. I think you'll enjoy it.
yeah, I
Yeah,
really hope it wins. But if Starship wins, I probably just take a pass because I was on. Somebody did that like 6 months ago on here. What do
I
you
did.
guys? Oh, you
We
did.
did,
Okay.
yeah.
I did.
Okay, I forgot. I was trying to remember who did it. Duh. Yeah, because that was not that long ago. So it's still
No.
fresh in my memory, right? So I'd rather see Vinny
Yeah.
personally. So
Go
yeah,
ahead, Gorilla.
vote Vinny.
Go ahead, Gorilla. You still got more to share with us?
nope. That's it about it.
And also check out his amazing shorts, everybody. Very entertaining and very funny. Okay, and I usually go clockwork order, and I'll continue if that's okay. My good, excellent friend, Nemesis of Eden, what say you about your channel?
Well, as of late, I've been playing Stellar Blade. I've just been kind of running around in circles voluntarily. Just not looking up password locations, just trying to find it organically. If you want to come and check that out and you want to see a hot Asian chick run around in scantily clad outfits, slaughtering monsters, definitely come check it out. I'd love to have you there on the stream. Also playing a little bit Red Dead 2 when I feel like it. But yeah, as for those are going to be intermittent. I might try and do some tonight. We'll see how I'm feeling. But yeah, definitely come check me out. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me, Pop, and hosting tonight. Always appreciated. And thanks to all my co-panelists and everyone in the chat who's been here and on the rerun. You're all rock stars. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for being here, Nemesis. And by the way, everybody, I did put the poll in the chat. Please vote for this movie. A grade of what you thought about the movie or our coverage of the movie. And if you don't see that on your screen, try hitting refresh or redraw your screen, and you'll see it on there. How about you, PvP, about your channel? What do you want to share with us about that?
I'm posting stuff by the British punk band The Damned. I've been posting some of their albums over the last couple of months because I'm going to be seeing them. My cousin and I are going to fly down on the 14th of this month to see them live at the Commodore Ballroom. Small venue with less than 1,000 capacity. So it's going to be fun because we'll probably get hopefully up close to the stage because it's a low rise, like a 4-foot high stage. So we can get right up and personal with the
Cool.
guys. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And actually, I just wanted to mention I'm going to be posting sometime over the next few days, hopefully, some live videos that have been posted by fans over the last week or so because they did hit North America. It was last week, and they hit Toronto, and then they've gone down through the eastern U.S., New York and Connecticut and different places, I think, if I remember correctly. They've been doing concerts down the East Coast, and I guess they're probably swinging west by now because I think they're going to probably hit California and go up through Seattle. And then I think after Seattle, they'll probably hit us the next day in Vancouver. So it's going to be fabulous because they look and sound excellent in the videos I've seen so far from the last week's live performance. Like they're
Very cool.
can't believe, I can't believe they've been going for like 48 years and they still sound so good. So
Great.
I'm going to post some of those. Anyway, I'll keep it short. That's about it, Pop.
Well, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to go ahead and let's show that poll that I put up in the chat at the last minute. And once again, everybody, I apologize for being the last minute. So let me end the poll. Pop out chat.
All right, well, Pop's doing that. Sean, here, PvP, read this. I can't read such an atrocious grade.
Okay. I give this movie an A, but I will admit that I haven't seen the others. I like the supporting characters. There was some good humor. The priest has a
Right.
redemption, and I was entertained the whole time. Well, I'd say watch the other ones before this, Sean. Go back and watch those.
Scurvy says
And we-
80s
and
trading.
we also have more to come too. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I can't. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Sean.
Yeah, Scurvy says 80s training montage. And have a good night, Euler.
Night, Euler.
Bye bye, Euler. Have a
Night,
great
Euler.
night.
That's
Thank you,
all the
brother.
chats.
Thank you. So it looks like we have the results of our poll back. A very short one because I just posted it recently. But thank you all for voting. We got 5 votes. And it looks like B plus to B minus got a 40%. C plus to C minus 40. A plus to A minus 20. And we got no D plus to F minus. That's great. So I know you guys only had like 5 minutes to vote, but I appreciate you doing that and participating in tonight's stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've got a couple of days. I'll come up with the name of the 4 titles for you guys to vote on. And like I said, I'll try to pick maybe if I can 2 sci-fi. I'll try to even it out. So maybe 2 sci-fi, 2 horror. Gorilla, on your channel, have you ever shown the movie Used Cars?
No.
Oh, that's another good one you should show. Oh my God, all these trench garbage you're showing. No offense, but oh my God, it's a great movie. It's a comedy. And it's made by the people that made Back to the Future, I'll put it that way. So it's definitely top notch when it comes to the writing, the production values, the movie, acting, the casting, all that stuff. It's a great, great movie. And you guys would have a blast watching it, I promise you. Okay. Is there anything anybody else wants to add before we close this out?
No, I can't think of anything I've got to add, actually.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I feel bad last night when we were ending the stream. I showed the wrong video. So I'm going to make a point of showing the right one this time. So I wanted to thank everybody in the chat for being here, you guys. I know we missed 2 or 3 weeks of doing a horror sci-fi stream, and I apologize. And I'm going to do my best to meet that up to you. And especially thank you all to my good friends on the panel. Gorilla, thank you for helping me with the chats tonight and help me keep the momentum going. And the same with you, Nemesis and PvP. Your input, it means a lot to me. I couldn't do it without you.
Not a problem.
Of course.
Yeah, happy to be here, Pop.
Very cool. So with that, everybody, try to get a good night's sleep. I don't want you dragging butt tomorrow and somebody get in a car wreck or something. Take your time. Don't speed. Try to stay warm if you're in a cold spot. Try to stay cool if you're in a hot spot. And with that, I love you all and peace.